The Frog Prince. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled deep within a lush forest, there lived a kind-hearted princess. She loved to spend her days exploring the woods, often accompanied by her golden ball, which she cherished dearly. One sunny afternoon, as she played near a sparkling pond, her beloved ball slipped from her grasp and plopped into the water with a soft splash. The princess gasped in dismay, watching it sink into the murky depths. She tried to reach for it with a stick, but it was of no use. Tears welled up in her eyes as she realized her favorite ball was gone forever. Suddenly, a deep voice croaked from the pond. "Why are you crying, dear princess?" Startled, she turned to see a large, green frog looking up at her with kind eyes. He had surfaced with her ball clasped in his webbed hands. The princess hesitated at first, but when the frog promised to retrieve her ball if she would befriend him and keep him by her side, she agreed. Relieved to have her ball back, she promised to keep her word. The next day, the princess forgot all about the frog and resumed her royal duties. Just as she was about to have dinner with her father, the king, there came a knocking at the door. "Open up, dear princess," croaked the familiar voice of the frog. Remembering her promise, she opened the door with a sigh. The frog hopped in and sat beside her at the table. The princess reluctantly shared her meal with him, hoping he would soon leave. But the frog stayed, insisting on companionship. Days turned into weeks, and the frog became a constant presence in the princess's life. Gradually, she began to appreciate his loyalty and gentle nature. One evening, as they sat by the pond under the moonlit sky, the frog looked up at her with shining eyes and said, "Dear princess, I have grown fond of you. Would you honor me with a kiss?" The princess hesitated, recalling the promise she had made. Finally, moved by his sincerity and kindness, she leaned down and kissed the frog on his cold, damp forehead. Suddenly, a magical transformation occurred before her eyes. The frog's rough skin shimmered and transformed into smooth, princely flesh. He stood before her, no longer a frog but a handsome prince with a grateful smile. It turned out that an evil which had cursed the prince, transforming him into a frog until someone pure of heart would see beyond his appearance and show him true kindness. The princess's selfless act had broken the curse, and the kingdom rejoiced at the return of their beloved prince. From that day on, the princess and the prince were inseparable. They ruled the kingdom wisely and with compassion, their bond stronger than ever. And the pond where it all began became a place of legends, where children would often come to hear the tale of the brave princess and the frog prince who found their happily ever after. As the days passed, the princess and the prince grew closer, sharing adventures in the kingdom and discovering common interests. The prince, grateful for his freedom and enchanted by the princess's kindness, showered her with tokens of his affection, beautiful flowers picked from the royal gardens, shimmering jewels gifted from distant lands, and heartfelt poetry composed in her honor. Their love blossomed like the most vibrant garden in springtime, and soon whispers of their romance spread throughout the kingdom. The people rejoiced, celebrating the union of their beloved princess and the once cursed prince who had returned to them with a renewed spirit and a heart full of love. The princess, now radiant with happiness, found herself falling more deeply in love with the prince each passing day. She admired his bravery, his intelligence, and his unwavering devotion to their kingdom. Together, they implemented fair laws, supported the arts, and ensured that every citizen thrived under their rule. One day, as they strolled through the palace gardens hand in hand, the prince knelt before the princess with a small, velvet box in his hands. With tears of joy in his eyes, he opened the box to reveal a magnificent ring adorned with a sparkling emerald, a token of his undying love and a promise of forever. Overwhelmed with emotion, the princess embraced him tightly, whispering her heartfelt acceptance. Their wedding day was a grand affair, attended by nobles, villagers, and creatures from the enchanted forest alike. The sun shone brightly, and birds sang joyfully as they exchanged vows under a canopy of flowers. From that day forward, the princess and the prince ruled the kingdom with compassion and wisdom, their bond stronger than any curse or adversity. They lived happily ever after, their story a testament to the power of love, kindness, and the magic that lies within every heart that dares to believe in fairy tales. And so, in the kingdom nestled deep within the forest, the legend of the Frog Prince and his beloved princess continued to inspire generations, reminding all who heard it that true love knows no bounds and that happily ever afters are indeed possible, even in the most unlikely of places.